Just real quick, think our guest or special guest here is just about to come in, so we're trying to see if he's able to log in now, and there he is. He's able to check in. He is on here with us. Very thankful that he's able to join in here for a little bit. Like I said, I was able to see him in action last week over in Sacramento. He fought and defeated David Mincher, second round knockout. He's now undefeated, 5-0 with three of those wins by way of knockout. Coming out of Concord, California, there is brother Kevin Mincher there in the building, man. What's going on, Cal? Hold up. Let me see something real
Hold up.
quick. There you go.
Oh, you hear me now?
Yeah. What's going on?
That's way better. Sorry, let me just park real quick. My bad. I'm over here making moves all day, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you.
Uh,
Yeah, you just
all right.
been in action and everything like that. Like I said, I was able to catch you there in Sacramento last weekend, man. I actually was out there in the West Coast. I'm based in the East Coast, but last week I was out there around your home area. I was working in Concord, so I hit
Oh,
up
nice.
one of my guys, G Funky. And he said, "You know what? They had the fight card there in Sacramento." So I said, "Man, nah, man, I have to hit it up, man." So I went up there to Sacramento, check out the fights there. Was like an embassy suites, and that thing was packed.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
you
popping.
could hardly find a seat up in there. But I was, able to enjoy the fights, including yours there. You know what I'm saying? You were there against David Minner and was able to score that stoppage victory, man. How was that, getting back into the ring there, after, some time being out of the ring?
Yeah, it was amazing, man. I think it was like 14 or 15 months since my last fight, so I was really anxious to just get in there and finally like do it on what I'm meant to do. And finally, like seeing him get in the ring, I'm like, oh my god, is this really happening? Like, am I really gonna fight this time? It was just unreal because I lost the opportunity to do so many times in the past like 14 months. I think unofficially like four times. I had four shows, fall out four times. So most of them I got down to weight. I got down to the weigh-in, so I was on weight, and then they
Mm.
just told me like you're not fighting. I'm like, damn. I did the whole training camp 3 or 4 times. At least 3 times I did the full training camp. Maybe one I found out a little bit early, but like I don't know. It felt unreal to finally get in there again.
Yeah. I mean, you had that story there about like being there the day of the weigh-in, and then at the last minute it gets scrapped. Now that's
Yeah,
the worst when it comes to
yeah,
being a fighter, a pro fighter. And then you get there, because when it's the weigh-in, everybody knows that if they in the boxing, like the weigh-in is like one of the toughest days, or probably the toughest day for a boxer, because you're just in there, whether you got to make weight, and then it's the day before, so it's like, hey, if I make weight, that's it, man. I don't have to care about nothing else. Just get ready for the fight. I can rehydrate. I can eat some food, all that type of stuff.
right.
So, when you get there and then it's like weigh in, and then the fight gets like snatched from you, it's like,
Yeah,
damn. And of course, the worst part about all of that, they take away the pay for me and all that type of stuff in some of them cases. So that'd be the worst. But like I said last week, you were able to get in there, get in action, and I felt like you were doing very well there against David Minner, and they was able to get that stoppage victory in the second round, man. So like you said, like how was it like to step in there, finally get in the ring, and have another fight there in Sacramento?
well, yeah, it was like everything I needed. We're working with new management and new coaching. So I'm not in Concord anymore. I'm actually in Sacramento, full time now. I'm working with exclusively with Brandon Gonzalez at Flawless Boxing. So he's just I've learned so much from him, and he's making me a better overall fighter. Like I already had like I had the guts and the balls and like the commitment and the I guess the will to come forward and do what I gotta do, but I didn't have like the technique. My technique was off, and he's really been polishing up my technique, making it a lot smoother. Being a true professional, I still had the amateur style that I had to get rid of. So
Mm.
this fight round, like I took a little bit longer. I knew he was overmatched, but at the same time, I didn't want to just go in there and try and take him out. That's not what a true professional would do. So I'm trying to just slow down, kind of read what's going on, and see what's in front of me, just just like, the more ring time I have, that's a better experience for me versus if I just try to knock them out in the first 30 seconds. I'm not gonna learn nothing. So I try, use the jab. We really focus on the jab a lot. We're still working on it, but the jab was like 95% of the training camp. So that's what we use a lot, mixing up the head to the body, and it was working flawlessly in the first round. Now in the second round, I knew he was gonna be done. He's probably gonna be his conditioning was not going to match mine, so we knew it was time to apply a little bit more pressure. So I started to turn up just a little bit. But I guess that's all it took. I didn't think he was going to go out that quick, but he did.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like you were saying, you were working on the jab and the timing. Pretty much, like the timing is everything with the jab. Because you definitely want to throw your opponent off, whether it's going upstairs or downstairs, and then you'll be able to open up more, offense by doing that. And that's basically what you did. You pretty much it was like probably what the first like real big shot that you landed on him. He like he went down. He like you said, it was like no mas as your nickname. You know what I'm saying?
he literally said no.
Yeah, yeah. So that was good, and you were able to get the stoppage, and that crowd was really supporting you there, man. You were out there. You said thanks to everybody that was showing up there in Sacramento. A lot of people were out there with you, after the fight, supporting you and everything like that. So how is it to get that type of in town support out of Sacramento?
That it made me fall in love with boxing all over again, man. Every time I'm going through these training camps, it's hard to remember why you're doing this, and you only get reminded one day at the very end of your training camp, which is fight day. So it was beautiful. The support was even crazier than before. Like, I think this is probably like the biggest turnout we've ever had. We sold over 120 tickets, if not more. So that's 120 people that paid just to come watch me fight, and then 20 of those were ringside. So obviously the marketability is there, the fan base is there. Um, but it was good to. I had a lot of sponsors that my fights kept falling out. I had a lot of sponsors that I picked up along the way last year, and I also never gave them their. I never paid my dues to them because they gave me the money, and I didn't get to fight and present their showcase their brand and on my suit or on my trunks. And finally, I got like if 10, if not 10 to 15 sponsors like finally cleared out the way. So I finally was able to pay my dues, and now the next fight I'm excited because that means we can make a whole lot of money since I'm a clean slate. I'm assuming most of these people are gonna want to help me out again. So I'm really excited about the next one. Next one we're cashing out. Yeah.
Yeah, for real, man. And
I
what was?
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was telling I don't know if you know Lukey. He's really big in the boxing scene. I was telling Lukey I'm gonna be one of the highest paid 4 rounder athletes at the local level.
I think that's Lukey Boxer. I think
Yeah.
I heard of. Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. And that that was what I think it was like your fourth fight there at that particular venue. So they've been kind of like building those type of fight atmospheres there around the embassy suites or whatever like that. But sometimes for me those things are like some of the better events to go to because like everybody's like right there and it's almost like most of the people that are showing up because you've been there. It's like trying to, like you said, you've been selling tickets, you've been out there in the streets of Sacramento and everything like that. As they say, shaking them hands, kissing them babies, but
Yeah.
also getting
Exactly.
ready to have them buy them tickets. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Gotta be down to earth, man.
Yeah, have to be. And like I was saying before, this one was like your first fight in a while, like 14, 15 months. So, getting back in there, you've had like 5 professional fights. Of course, you had your amateur background. You've definitely been highly ranked amateur, like I said, up to like number 2, basically. So, a lot of people know about, your amateur pedigree and, who you've been in there with and who you've, fought against. So, it's like now you get to, like you say, you finally get to get going there in the pro ranks there because sometimes when you're coming off of the amateurs and you switch over to the pros, you want to get right at it and get right at it. So definitely having this fight here that happened last week, now you could get that momentum back going again.
Oh yeah. We should have a busy year, God willing.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, going back to your amateur days, like I mentioned, you had a decorated career there. Fought like a lot of fighters out there that are in the pro ranks right now. I think what was it like? You had Duke Reagan that you fought against. You fought, I think it was Rasheem Jefferson.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think who else was there? It was Bruce Carrington.
yeah,
And also like Keyshawn Davis, a couple of notable fighters that
yeah.
you've been in there in the ring with. So, how is it like kind of going against, that type of competition in the amateurs to prepare you for the pros right now?
That's like one of the most invaluable experiences that modern amateur boxers kind of are sleeping on. They think it's this shit comes easier to where like you can have 20, 30, 40, even 50 fights and then turn pro. I mean, in some situations, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do because life hits, and maybe you're getting too old, or maybe you just need to make the money because you just had a kid or something. I don't know. But if you do have the opportunity, if you do have the time, and if you do have the patience, I highly recommend getting that the amateur experience at the highest level, fighting in every national tournament that you possibly could. Hopefully, getting on Team USA ideally, and getting that overseas experience because that was like a game changer for me because I was nervous as shit when I had my first amateur overseas fight. I was like, oh hell no, we're gonna fight without headgear, and I'm gonna get knocked out. I'm gonna get cut. I'm gonna get like I was just nervous as hell. I was nervous, right? But I ended up winning my amateur international debut. So like going into the pros, it's not so different no more because I already fought without headgear. It's just the gloves are a little bit smaller. Um, but that's the thing that like most amateur boxers nowadays they don't have the patience to wait around and get even 100 fights, which is a big ask. I do admit.
Yeah,
But I would settle for 75 at least. Get some if you have the time. If God permits. But what that does for you is when you turn pro, now you've been here, you've been in very similar situations to where like, for example, you got a pressure fighter, you got a counter puncher, you got a boxer, you got a super slick guy that like is extremely hard to hit. You don't know how to fight against those styles unless you've been in some form of a fight that's similar in the amateurs. So like, I might have a style that's my weakness, but at least I fought it a bunch of times. I know how to get to him. I know eventually I'll be able to break him down with what I got to bring to the table. But yeah, that was probably the smartest decision I ever made was getting a whole bunch of amateur fights, and
hmm
especially finding those top people in the those guys that you mentioned. They're really making moves in the pros right now. They're high up on the rankings. They are the next generation, same as me. So knowing that I fought those guys and I gave them a hard fight, and I know that it was an easy fight for them. I know I'm meant to stand amongst these guys, and I know I'm meant to be a contender and God willing a world champion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Being
yeah,
at that level. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I mentioned what was it, Bruce Carrington. He's kind
Uh-huh.
of been up in the ranks. And then you had Keyshawn Davis there. Around the lightweight division, he has like a big fight coming up here. I think it's next month too. So, yeah, you definitely been able to compete and hang with those guys. And like you said, you're pretty much waiting for your time to come up on that. For sure. Now, one thing that you did mention there that's on your social media page is that you were able to even coming off of the thing there with the amateurs and being there with the pros and everything like that. You were also able to be in school and be at the Sacramento State University and be a graduate at the Sacramento State University. So, how was it, going through that? Because I sometimes talk with fighters that have been young and coming up in the ranks, and are also like being in high school and college, and then splitting that time up while being in the gym. So, how was it, taking those courses at Sacramento State University?
Man, college was fun as hell, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was really really fun, um, because I feel like I got to be a kid and really just explore and educate myself a lot better. But relating to boxing, that was probably one of the best decisions I made because boxing is not just a sport once you turn pro. It's also very much a business, and it's not just any business. It's the entertainment business.
Yeah.
So if you don't understand that part, you're gonna have a really hard boxing career. you're gonna be like, well, why am I getting the short end of the stick every time? Well, that's because maybe you're not selling tickets, maybe you don't have any followers on Instagram, maybe nobody knows about you, maybe you're not marketable, maybe you're not, pretty enough to to say, to be honest, like you gotta be good looking, you gotta have a voice, you gotta like be educated, you gotta walk the walk and talk the talk, and that's something that kind of learned a lot from my experiences in college. Being educated is something that makes me smarter outside the ring. I know how to rehydrate. I know how to make sure my body's good. I know how to get down to weight the right way. A lot of these pro fighters are still cutting weight like very very unhealthily, like, and that's a huge disadvantage come fight day. You don't want to like be completely drained come fight day. That's like the worst thing you can do. You're guaranteed to lose pretty much. So college was something that especially studying kinesiology with an emphasis in exercise science. I really focused on learning what's gonna build my body the best and most
Mhm.
efficiently. So boxing, I mean college, although that's an even bigger ask than like asking for 100 fights, if you can do it, which I barely scraped by the way. I barely scraped by, like barely, but I did it. It took me, I think it took an extra year. Usually it's 4 years. I took 5 years, but I
Mhm.
did. That was like the best investment I could have made into not only my boxing career, but my career in general as who I want to become. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah,
Like you said, taking either like full time courses or part time courses. That's like 12, either like 6 to 12 hours a semester, and then like I said, you got to be there as like a boxer, whether it's like amateur or pros. I mean, that's like being an athlete. That's
yeah.
really a lot on your plate there every single day. You know what I mean?
I couldn't do it as a pro. As an amateur, it's possible, but as a pro, I fuck no. I don't think it's possible.
For sure, for sure. And like you said, as far as like building yourself up, there you're there in the college atmosphere. You're there to be seen, and like you said in pro boxing, it's all about marketability. It's all about selling yourself. And if you can't put yourself out there, hey, how are you going to be able to build a following?
Oh, so you just reminded me that actually came back to really help me very recently, actually, because Sac State actually just dropped it's like gonna be a combat university now. The president of Sacramento State is actually into boxing very heavily. He has a whole lot of respect for me, same way I have a whole lot of respect for him, and
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna really help me get my name out there. What better way than to use Sacramento State?
Oh yeah,
Obviously I want to give back and help them, but getting on that huge of a platform locally, that's gonna be huge for my brand. Like if I have the Sac State president's stamp of approval, I'm gonna be good in Sacramento. But
oh
I
yeah,
wouldn't have that without my degree. It
yeah.
just happened to like line up like literally the stars aligned. That's literally what happened.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that's great. Planning, and that, like you said, it's all about execution. And you were able to do that there at Sacramento State. Big ups to Allen to saying the abilities, giving respect to you there, brother Kevin. He said your mind is just as important as the body. Definitely
Thank you,
there,
man.
man. For sure, for sure. Now, back to the thing there in the pros. Now I know that like you said, you were able to get back in the ring. It was like an extended layoff. Just trying to see here, like where you like planning to be at as far as like weight division or anything like that. Have you like kind of set like a plan as far as like where you're gonna be at here for the near future?
Yeah, probably definitely not higher than 35. My last fight I fought 147, but that was just out of the sake of making sure that I fought, because we actually
Yeah.
had an opponent fall out like 2 weeks before my fight was about to happen. I was like, oh god, this looks all familiar again.
Hmm.
So we found this guy that would take it, pretty short, but I was gonna go up to his weight. So I'm like, I said, fuck it, let's do it. It's better than not fighting,
Yeah.
and it ended up being worthwhile risk. But definitely 135, maybe 130 if I can be disciplined enough to make it. But 130 is just, oh, I hate that weight class, man. But probably 135. I know I can make that and manage that realistically. 130 is just, I feel like super dehydrated. I don't know if that's the weight class for me anymore. I actually had my first 4 fights at 130, but my last one at 130, which was like 15 months ago, I just felt like super drained, and I felt like I won, but it was all through willpower, like pure like balls to the wall. But I don't want to have to do that. I want to have my legs under me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 35 probably.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely. You want to, basically, like you said, be at your optimal, weight so that you'll be able to perform at your best there. So, if you're able to plan to, be there in 135 and, have that future there at 135, that's just definitely go for it. Now, as you say, you're there in the amateurs and, now here are a few fights in the pros. I usually like ask this there from our guests or our fighters, like who did you basically look up to in the boxing game, coming up?
Um, who that like a professional fighter?
Yeah,
Sorry, I had some random lady come to my car. Who did I look up to? Um, that's a good question, man. I mean, I don't really in terms of like business, which I didn't understand when I was younger, but I did see he was doing something right. It was probably like Floyd, just because I knew like there's no way this guy's not making money. There's no way. So I just like the way that like I'm talking about like past Floyd, not Floyd today. Floyd today is like over the top with it. Like bro, like you made millions, just stay out the way. Like
yeah,
we get it. You're the goat. You're one of the best ever. We get it. But like he's over the top with it now. But back then he just had like that face, like that presence. Um, business wise, Floyd. But other than that, uh, I don't know. I feel like I didn't really have like a structure for that. I feel like I just kind of I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for that.
gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. I mean, like you said, you mentioned Floyd as far as like what he was able to do in his professional career.
Yeah.
Like I said, he built himself as far as like marketability is concerned, and spread himself out so that more people would see him, whether it was win or lose. And now these days it's exhibition fights and being a promoter, and like he says, I like to make smart investments and keep up all the so that's kind of how he is these days. But I'd say he was definitely a good fight, a great fighter, of course. But
Yeah.
marketability was also part of it. With that being said, we got to see, like, when it will be the next time that we see Kevin No Mas Montano. I don't know if they're working on getting you back in the ring again, or is there like something where you want to say like, hey, maybe we could have like another fight here in Sacramento, or see if there's like something else going on, out maybe in California or in another city.
Yeah, my priority right now is probably to stay local, just because there's so much like I hate to talk about money, but like let's be honest. Everybody needs to make money. This is a hurt business. This is the entertainment business. So if I'm gonna entertain you, I'm gonna get paid for it, and
Mm.
preferably a lot more a lot more than $1,000 for a 4 rounder fight per or
Yeah.
like or 2,000 for a 6 rounder locally. Like that's not really nothing. So, but the money doesn't really come from the purse. I'm sure we all know where the money comes from. I don't want to speak on that, but um, my party is probably local. We are talking about we have a few options, either March or April. Most likely it'll be April. But worst case scenario, we if we fight in March, it would be like in San Francisco at the Cap House. You know, uh,
Mm.
West Side Promotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, there was an interest there, but at the same time, I really like the Sacramento fan base. Like there is just so much moves and money to be made out here, and I don't get why we wouldn't keep growing the brand. It's been working, so probably April.
Yeah,
Okay.
gotcha, gotcha. And like you were saying, it's very good to kind of like build there in Sacramento. You'll be able to build a good crowd there. Like I said, it's almost like a family type of atmosphere being in that Sacramento area. So you'll be able to get a few fights in, and build a crowd, build a following, and then we'll like expand, and then probably have a fight at the Sacramento Kings Arena or something like that.
Yeah,
Later
Golden One Center.
yeah, yeah, that would definitely be dope there. Be down there like downtown Sacramento, and have a great fight there. So definitely looking forward to that. Like you said, it'll be like March or April. We're gonna see, how that goes. I was out there. I think I had my guy. I think it's G Funky Boxing. So I was able to
Yeah.
hang out with him. There for that fight day too. So like I said, it's a great atmosphere. So you could show up. It could be there at that Embassy Suites in the ballroom, and you'll just be there. And you'll be like right in the fight, so you'll hear everything. You don't have to be at like no row 502 or something like that. Just going down. You're right there in the action. So
Yeah, all the seats are good.
Yep, most definitely. So we want to see if that's going to be next up here for you, either March or April. Of course, seeing if you can, you'll be able to stay undefeated. You'll be able to build that crowd there in Sacramento and get right back to it. But like I said, you were out and about, so I know that you were making moves. So you'll be able to continue making moves. But big thanks for you to join here on the Boxing Source, and we're going to hear more from you here real soon.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Is there any way I can get are you gonna upload this somewhere so I can watch it after?
Oh yeah, this is on YouTube. I mean, this is like live on YouTube here right now, so you'll be able to check it out on YouTube and everything.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And y'all can follow him on social media, of course. You got No Mas Montano on Instagram, and I don't know if you have any other social media accounts, so you can let folks know.
Nah, just hit me at No Mas Montano on Instagram. That's really the main one.
All right, for sure. But big thanks for you for joining us here once again. And yeah, we're gonna hear more news from you real soon. Y'all be sure to follow his Instagram page to see what's next. Hear from Kevin No Mas Montano. Like I said, right now 5-0 with 3 KOs, but we're gonna see him to get to 6-0 and maybe 4 KOs as well.
Yes,
so yeah, let's go.
All right, man. Thank you, man.
All right, for sure, man. No doubt.